What if your life, with all of its twists and turns, isn't an accident? What if you're here on purpose, for a purpose? And what if there were two profound yet seemingly different ways to understand that truth? One where you are the author of your own story, and one where you are the story itself. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Next Level with Nathan. This is the place where we explore the biggest questions of life through the lens of the world's greatest spiritual teachers, finding practical wisdom to move from a life of confusion into one of profound clarity and purpose. Before we begin, I want to invite you to be a part of this movement. Every time you like, subscribe, or share, you become a vital part of spreading this message of hope and optimism. It helps us connect with someone who might be searching for the clarity to step into their God-given destiny. Thank you so much for being a part of this with me. Now let's explore one of the most empowering ideas in all of spiritual thought, the idea that your life is not an accident. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are a powerful, eternal soul who chose to be here. This is a radical premise. It challenges the story that many of us have been taught, the story of a random, chaotic world where things just happen to us. The great mystics and modern spiritual teachers offer a different narrative. They suggest that before we were born, in a state of pure consciousness, love, and wisdom, we made a choice. We chose to inhabit humanity. You may not remember it. In fact, the veil of forgetting is a crucial part of the design. We are not meant to remember all the details of our pre-birth contract because that would spoil the surprise. It would remove the thrill of discovery, but the evidence of that choice is all around us. And the core truth is this: you are here on purpose, for a purpose. Modern spiritual classics like Neil Donald Walsh's Conversations with God and the fascinating research from Dr. Michael Newton's Journey of Souls both point to this same conclusion. They describe a process where souls between lifetimes lovingly and deliberately plan their next incarnation. With the help of wise guides, we choose our parents, our life circumstances, and even the major challenges we will face. The great Dr. Wayne Dyer took this idea into his heart and taught it with incredible passion. He was a firm believer that our arrival here is not a random draw, but a sacred appointment. He taught that we enter into spiritual contracts before we are born, agreements made by our soul for our own highest evolution. In this pre-birth state of pure awareness, he explained, we consciously selected the very parents who would bring us into this world. We chose them not because they were perfect, but because they were perfect for us, perfectly suited to provide the environment and the initial lessons we need to begin our soul's journey. From this perspective, the family you were born into is not an accident in biology, but a spiritual assignment. A soul who wanted to truly master the art of self-reliance might choose parents who are not very nurturing. A soul who wanted to embody unconditional love might choose a parent who, from a human perspective, is difficult to love. This isn't punishment, it is a curriculum. It is a divine arrangement made by you for you. Dyer extended this to our physical bodies and our life's greatest challenges. He would say that a soul who wanted to master the art of determination and inner strength might choose to be born into a body with physical limitations. Another soul seeking to teach the world about compassion might choose a life that would require them to receive compassion from others. He urged us to see that the circumstances of our birth and the major themes of our lives are not random acts of a chaotic universe, but a perfectly tailored set of experiences designed by our own higher self. Now, the logical mind might immediately ask, why on earth would I choose this? Why would I choose this struggle, this heartbreak, this difficulty? And this brings us to the first critical distinction in understanding your chosen life. You chose to inhabit life, not to struggle, but to enjoy overcoming. From the perspective of your eternal soul, the earth is a grand stage, a playground of contrast. As Abraham Hicks teaches, it is the contrast, which means the challenges, the problems, the things we don't want, that gives birth to the rocket of desire for what we do want. A soul that exists in a state of perpetual bliss has no concept of what it is. It's like being in a room of pure white light. You can't see the light because there's no shadow to define it, no contrast. Your soul chose to come to earth, this world of duality and contrast, so that it could know itself. You didn't choose the challenge of poverty so you could suffer. You chose it so you could experience the glorious journey of becoming abundant. You didn't choose the pain of a broken heart so you could be a victim. You chose it so you could master the art of unconditional love and self-love. The struggle is not the point. The overcoming, the growth, the expansion that is born from the challenge, that is the joy. That is the point. But what do ancient Judeo-Christian teachings say about this? While not dogma, the Bible certainly alludes to a pre-incarnate existence and a divinely appointed purpose, resonating with Dyer's view. Think of Jeremiah 1:5. where God says to the prophet, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations." This clearly indicates Jeremiah's identity and mission were established before his physical birth, a powerful echo of a sacred contract. Similarly, Ephesians 1:4 states that God chose us in him before the creation of the world to be holy and blameless in his sight. This pushes the idea of our identity and purpose back before time itself, perfectly aligning with the concept of a soul's pre-birth choice for its journey in Job chapter 38, verse 4 and 21. It says, "Where were you when I laid the earth's foundation? Surely you know, for you were already born. You have lived so many years." This hints at a pre-existence of consciousness that fascinates modern mystics. This brings us to the second profound distinction for why we are here. You chose to inhabit humanity not to live a life trying to impress others, but to live your life here on earth to experience all that humanity can discover. So much of modern life is a performance. We are conditioned to seek external validation. We chase titles, promotions, and possessions to impress people we barely even know. We curate our lives on social media, presenting a highlight reel in exchange for digital applause. This is living from the ego. It is the game of constant comparison, anxiety, and a feeling of never being good enough. It's an exhausting, hollow pursuit. Your soul has no interest in this game. Your soul, that eternal part of you, did not choose this magnificent, messy, beautiful human experience so you could get more likes. It came here for the richness of the experience itself. It came to feel the warmth of the sun on the skin, or to taste a perfect strawberry, to hear a piece of music that just breaks its heart open. It came to feel the deep ache of loss and the soaring ecstasy of love. It came to experience the satisfaction of building something with its own hands, the peace of forgiving someone who wronged it, and the joy of helping another soul in need. This is what Dr. Wayne Dyer meant when he urged us not to die with our music still inside of us. Your purpose isn't a job title. It's to fully and authentically express the unique song of your soul. Now let's explore a different path, that of the brilliant philosopher Alan Watts. Coming from a background in Zen Buddhism and Taoism, Watts would have considered the idea of a separate soul making a choice in the past as a beautiful myth, but one that still reinforces the illusion of a separate ego. His view is one of radical non-duality. For Watts, you're not a separate entity that came into the world. You're an expression of the world. He used a powerful analogy. You are something the whole universe is doing in the same way that a wave is something that the whole ocean is doing. A wave isn't separate from the ocean, and you're not separate from the cosmos. From this perspective, there was no past choice made by a separate you. Instead, the universe is playing the role of you in the eternal now. The choice to be here is the fact that you are here. The universe is looking out through your eyes at this very moment, hearing through your ears and feeling through your heart. For Watts, your life is a cosmic performance. You're not the author of the play who then came to act in it. You are the play itself, an intricate and unique dance of the entire cosmos, expressing itself as you for a brief, beautiful moment. And again, does Judeo-Christian tradition offer any resonance with Watts' non-dual view? Just as I presented potential biblical evidence for Dyer's view, I will do the same for Alan Watts' view as well. Mystical interpretations of Scripture strongly support the idea that we are not separate from God, but are expressions of God. Consider God's revelation to Moses in Exodus 3:14 as "I am who I am." This is the ultimate statement of non-duality. God's label isn't a separate label, it is being itself. Christian mystics like the German Dominican friar Meister Eckhart taught way back in the 13th and 14th century that this universal I am is the very ground of our own being. Our individual I am is a direct expression of the great I am. Jesus himself repeatedly dissolved the idea of separation. In John 10:30, he says, "I and the Father are one." Even more profoundly, he prays for all of humanity to realize the same unity of he and the Father in John 17:21, praying that they may all be one, just as you, Father, are in me, and I in you, that they also may be in us. This is the core of Watts' teaching. We are all expressions of the one divine process, invited to awaken to that reality. The Apostle Paul echoed this in Acts 17:28, declaring, "For in him we live and move and have our being." This doesn't describe a distant God, but rather an all-encompassing divine reality that we are inside of, like a wave in the ocean. This rich mystical vein within our ancient traditions offers powerful common ground. To fully grasp the magnitude of life you chose, we have to look at where humanity sits in the spiritual hierarchy. The Bible contains a fascinating and empowering truth about our place in the cosmos. In 1 Corinthians 6:3, the Apostle Paul asks a rhetorical question to the church. Do you not know that we will judge angels? Pause and truly consider the audacity of that statement. It implies that humanity, in its completed state, holds a position of wisdom and experience even greater than these magnificent celestial beings. Whether you see angels as literal beings or as allegorical representations of divine forces, they are typically understood as perfect messengers of God, existing in a state of perpetual alignment with His will. They have no veil of forgetting. They do not struggle with doubt or the limitations of a physical body. They exist in a state of pure knowing. So why are we, in all of our messiness and confusion, destined to be greater? Because we have something angels do not, the experience of becoming. An angel is, but a human becomes. We chose to come here and forget our divinity. We chose to enter a world of limitation, of contrast, of pain and pleasure. Why? Because the experience of remembering who you are in the face of a world that tells you you are small is the greatest creative act in the universe. An angel knows love because it has never known anything but love. A human who learns to choose love in a world filled with fear comes to know love on a level that an angel can only observe with wonder. We are not just expressions of God, we are explorers sent by God into the farthest reaches of experience to discover new aspects of divinity itself. Our journey of overcoming, of choosing faith over doubt, of choosing forgiveness over bitterness, this is what forges a soul with a depth of wisdom that is unparalleled. So now you see it, we have two different stories. One where you're a soul on a chosen mission, and one where you are the universe on a temporary adventure. But here's the most important part. Whether you see yourself as a soul who chose the play, like Dyer taught, or as the universe performing the play, like Watts taught, both philosophies lead to the exact same powerful and practical truths for daily living. First, your life has inherent meaning. In both views, your existence is profoundly meaningful and is not a random accident. Whether it's a chosen mission you are here to fulfill or a unique expression of the entire cosmos, you are a vital and necessary part of the whole. There are no spare parts in the universe. Your presence here matters, and it matters today. Second, your challenges are not punishments. Both Dyer and Watts would agree that your difficulties are not random misfortunes or signs that something has gone wrong. For Dyer, they're your chosen curriculum, the specific assignments you pick to forge your soul's greatest strengths. For Watts, they are the necessary lows that give definition to the highs, the dramatic tension and the complex notes that make the symphony of life interesting and beautiful. Either way, your challenges are a core, meaningful part of this experience, designed to produce growth and wisdom. Third, your true nature is divine. This is the ultimate convergence. Wayne Dyer saw us as individual sparks of God on a human journey, temporarily forgetting our source. Alan Watts saw us as the entire universe, the whole of God, temporarily disguised as a person. In both cases, your true identity is not your limited ego, not your name, not your job, and definitely not your past. Your true identity is the infinite creative consciousness of the cosmos. And finally, the goal is to awaken. Both teachings are ultimately about a shift in consciousness, an awakening. For Dyer, it's about awakening to the memory of your sacred contract and the purpose you came here to fulfill. It's about remembering who you were before you came here. For Watts, it's about awakening from the illusion of the separate self to the reality of your unity with everything. It's about realizing who you are right now in this very moment. The path may be different, but the destination, a state of awakened, peaceful, purposeful living, is the same. Ultimately, whether you believe you are a soul on a mission or the universe on an adventure, the practical advice for a better life is identical. You must embrace your life fully in all its messy glory. You must see your challenges as opportunities for growth and wisdom. And you must remember every single day that you are far more than the limited personality you sometimes believe yourself to be. So, let's not get caught up in which story is right. Choose the one that empowers you the most. Whether you choose this life or you are this life, the conclusion is the same. You are a magnificent, purposeful, and divine expression of the universe. Let's live like it.